Welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly. Jake Line-Connect here, and of course, head coach Scott Langer. Coach, seems like it's been a while since we've had a game. Of course, a weekend off, but the game against Minot on Wednesday ends up as a 3-1 win for you guys. Sibell was, 4 minutes, 30 seconds away from another shutout. He was solid as well. What did you guys think about Minot and that game?
Yeah, it was a game that it just didn't seem like the pucks were bouncing very good our way. Where it was a game we really had to scratch and claw through and obviously play some good defense and have some good goaltending in order to win it. I wouldn't say it was one of our better games of the season, but you're going to have those type of games through the course of a year, and I guess when you don't play your best and you get 2 points, that's a big deal. But I thought Minot played hard. I thought they played really hard, and we had to come up with some pretty big time saves there in that game in order to keep it close. But it's good we played another tight game. I think that'll pay dividends down the stretch when it seems to get tighter. For sure.
Well, like we talked about, a midweek game, and then you end up with the weekend off. That's got to make things challenging. What you guys? How does that affect practice schedules and all that kind of stuff?
Well, I think it was actually decent timing because our schedule really heats up here moving forward. So, we gave the guys off and let them kind of just be away from the game for a few days. But we're back at it today, and we went hard today, and I think it's going to be a real hard week of preparation. And with the Wilderness coming in, it's a different team we haven't seen yet, so we have to be prepared for them.
For sure. We'll get to that in just a bit here. Announcement today that Jake Sibell has committed to D1 Niagara. I know how important college commitments and moving guys along in their career is to you and to this organization, so that's fantastic news.
Yeah, he obviously earned many teams giving him a call, and he really fell on top of Niagara and liked everything about the coaching staff there. And the way he's been playing, obviously he's very deserving of that scholarship, and to be able to go to school and not have to worry about graduating with debt and being able to play hockey for 4 years and get a great education. It's as an organization, that's what we're here for, and really, really happy for Jake.
Congratulations to Jake Sibell. Again, commitment to D1 Niagara. As Coach said, you can start life out without debt and have a college degree. That's a pretty good, nice little step up. A lot of people don't have that advantage. So, again, congrats to him, and he certainly earned it, as Coach mentioned. Well, Coach, you mentioned Wilderness coming into town. They're a 5-5, 0-1 right now, coming off back-to-back wins against Minnesota teams, against Austin and then against the Minnesota Magicians. Looks like a pretty veteran team, and the Wilderness are always tough. What have you seen from them on video? This is a team that had the hiatus like the Fairbanks did and stuff. So in some senses, maybe a little behind in some ways, but certainly probably more healthy too, because haven't had the stretch of games and getting beat up quite as bad.
They made a lot of roster changes to early, and obviously just a week ago they added a couple more guys. So their depth, they've added to their depth, and they're obviously a much deeper team than when they started. And they're a skilled hockey team. And they'll bring 4 lines of skill at you. They can make plays and they can get up and down the ice. I think it's a contest that you don't want to get into a track meet with them, that's for sure, because they have the ability to score and they have the ability to skate. So I think Coach Valancourt did a good job there of solidifying his depth. And, for us it should be a little exciting just because it's a new team we haven't seen yet this year, and it's a team we'll have to face a few times. So the good thing is we'll get them at home, and we're coming off an off weekend, and they're playing a few games. So I'm sure like any other team coming in here right now, they're going to be excited to play our team, and we just have to be equally excited.
Well, it's interesting. Fairbanks, Minot, and now the Wilderness, all of these teams kind of a little bit of the same build. They're all fast, skilled teams. So does it help to come off of Fairbanks and Minot and having played games against teams that have that similar kind of build as you get ready for the Wilderness?
Yeah, I think it makes you a little more acclimated to playing a game of that speed, and those guys, obviously Fairbanks can really skate,
Yeah.
get up and down the ice, but our guys have done a good job of changing their game to play against these different teams and the different looks that we face. So, again, we'll have to be really good defensively against this team, and if we want the good results, that's for sure. And we're gonna need goaltending again.
Absolutely. Well, and that has certainly been a strong point for the Wings here so far this season. Standings, Aberdeen right now with 44 points. And on top of the Central Division with 23 games played. Bismarck with 29 points and 26 games played. Minot with 21 points in third with 23 games played. Austin with 16 points and 17 games played. The Wilderness again with 11 points and 11 games played. St. Cloud with 8 points and 17 games played. That's the way it shakes out. And as the rest of the schedule works forward, and Coach, you mentioned it, you get into a kind of a hot spot here. A lot of these teams are trying to make up some games. So you're seeing some midweek stuff and some Sunday games and different things like that. Does that change anything for you guys at all?
No, I don't think so. I think our approach is got to be the same way.
Yeah.
We got to work hard. We got to try to outwork our opponent. And the good thing is our schedule is pretty good.
Yeah.
We have some structure to it, and we don't have a whole bunch of midweek games to throw off our preparation schedule. So happy about that.
For sure. It makes it easier on fans and stuff too, I think. That's pretty much all I've got for you, Coach. I appreciate you coming on here again today, though, and best of luck against the Wilderness.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we'll continue on with Wings Weekly with our second portion, and a player, of course, joining us coming up right after this.
How you move matters. Avera Orthopedics helps you move freely and live life to the fullest with innovative treatment options customized to your bone, muscle, and joint needs. Whether you suffer from aches, breaks, tears, or dislocations, turn to the orthopedic team experienced in treating every body.
All right, we continue on with the second portion of Wings Weekly, and as promised, a player is joining me, and this time it's Liam Fraser of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. Well, I always like to get to know players and a little about their background, their history, and so on. You're most recently in the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. You're right now with the Wings, 9 goals, 8 assists. Tell us a little about your family and home life, that kind of thing, and then walk us through how you got started in hockey. I mean, probably not too much of a stretch coming from Canada, but...
Yeah. I started skating when I was 4 years old. My dad kind of got me into it on the backyard rink, and I fell in love ever since. And my parents have been super supportive, and my younger brother plays as well. So we're kind of a hockey family now, and we're taking it from there.
Right on. How old's your brother?
He's 16.
Okay, so does he ever have maybe some ambition to play juniors at all?
Yeah, it's definitely something he's talked about. Unfortunately, this year they're probably not going to play with COVID
Right.
regulations going on back home.
Well, that's actually funny you bring that up, because I was going to ask you about that. 'Cause I was told that you were able to get home for the holidays. Was that more challenging than it normally would be because of the whole
Yeah,
COVID?
they were definitely a little stricter. I had to isolate in my house while I was back home before I flew back here to Aberdeen, but it was nice to see my parents.
Sure. You can only imagine. I have a couple of questions about the comparison, I guess, between Canada and the U.S. and different foods and all that stuff. We're going to get to those, but you mentioned when you got started playing hockey. How did you become an Aberdeen Wing? How walk us through those steps?
Yeah, over the spring actually, Coach Langer had reached out and let me know that they were interested in having me come down here and play in Aberdeen, and told me a little bit about the background and the history of the Wings, and then I fell in love instantly. And ever since I've been here, they've been super welcoming, and everyone's been so supportive. And obviously, it's been working out this year. We have a strong team, so I couldn't have made a better decision.
Excellent. What were your first impressions when you come to Aberdeen? Actually, I mean, had you been to the U.S. before?
I had been to the U.S. a few times, never to South Dakota, so I wasn't really sure what to expect.
Not exactly usually much of a destination unless you're... But, so yeah, you arrive in Aberdeen. Is this kind of similar? Obviously, Calgary's much bigger, but like, I can't say that I've been. I mean, I've been to Winnipeg and a few places up, in that neck of the woods. But what's the terrain like? Is it weird that it's flat here and there's hardly any trees?
Yeah, it's definitely a little change of scenery from back home, having the mountains in the distance there. But no, it's been super cool, and I like how close everything is. About a 10-minute drive everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is one nice thing. You can pretty much traverse from one point to the other in about 10, 12 minutes, depending. All right. Well, I know there's some things that the Canadians like poutine, if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
And all dressed chips and things like that you can't really get in the U.S. And even if you can, it's not the same as home. Are there some foods or some things like that, some cultural kind of things that you miss being
Definitely
here?
poutine, actually. There's a bunch of food trucks that came out this past summer where I was working, and they had all different kinds of that. So that's definitely something that I'm missing.
Nice. Tell people what poutine is if they don't know.
Poutine is just like fries with gravy and cheese curds on it, and then you can add whatever else.
Pretty amazing. Let's see. This last week, Coach mentioned that you guys had the weekend off. It's kind of a little time away from the game. What do you guys do when you're away from the game? First of all, what do you like to do? Do you have any hobbies or anything like that? But then, do you guys all get together as a team and go bowling or do something like that? Or how'd your weekend look?
Yeah, it was nice to have the weekend off, recover a little bit. But we all got together on the weekend and went to Neil's house and watched a movie and did our rookie idol singing competition. So that was kind of fun. And we have a really close-knit group this year, as you can tell, obviously. But we're always together.
Rookie idol singing competition. Let's hear a little more about that. So the rookies all they get to pick their own song, or
they got to pick their own songs. There were some great performances, to say the least.
I'm sure.
So, they did not disappoint.
Oh, that's great. Kind of like on the bus when the mic's working.
Yeah.
I got a couple of kind of goofy questions before we get back into the hockey stuff. Who would you say on this team? You mentioned that you're a close group and doing things together. So I would imagine people ride with other people at different times. Who would you say is the worst driver on this team? If there's one person that you're like, no, I do not want to be a passenger in their car, who would it be?
Definitely Kevin McKay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good to know. All right. A couple of years ago, we had a guy here that went in the ditch like 4 or 5 times,
no.
and he was just like always getting stuck. And it was pretty funny because he was a European, so that was part of it. Is that he wasn't used to driving over here, So, but everyone gave him a hard time. And Pokorny had a lot of time in the ditch. So I got to thinking about that earlier today with the slippery conditions and stuff. There might be another one of those on the team. If you could, would you rather be able to teleport anywhere or have the ability to read minds? And now you got to walk us through your logic or your reasoning of why you choose one or the other here too.
Ooh, I would definitely have to say teleport anywhere. I'm a summer vacation destination guy, so to be able to travel down, I'd probably go to Hawaii.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that actually kind of ties into another one of my would you questions. Since you said you're a summer destination vacation guy, would you rather have to wear a tuxedo every day or a bathing suit every day?
Ooh, bathing suit for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a more casual style guy anyway.
Okay, that's kind of what, after that first question, I thought, I bet you I know the answer to this. All right, let's see, I got another one here for you. Would you rather live in a cave or in a treehouse?
Treehouse, I'd say. Yeah. I never got to build one of those as a kid. A few of my buddies had some, so I relived the past a little bit.
There you go. Get up above it all. Would you rather never be stuck in traffic again, or never get a cold again?
Never get a cold.
Yeah? You don't mind traffic jams, huh?
No.
Boy, that would be a tough one for me because I cannot stand. I get road rage. Let's see. Back to hockey here. We talked with Coach Langer just a moment ago, about the wilderness and so on. Team that you guys haven't seen. So how does that look as a team? Do you guys start looking at video early on, like even last week, because you had Thursday, Friday, after the Minot game? Have you guys had a chance to look at some tape?
That's kind of what we're going to be going over this week here,
Okay.
leading up to them, and I know that they play in the middle of the week here, so we'll definitely have to watch that and just kind of take it from there, see what we can do, and make the most of it.
Does it present challenges as a player? I know for coaching staff, preparation obviously would change, but for a player, does it change things when you're seeing a team for the first time? I mean, some of these teams that you've seen, a handful of times back to back, you kind of know what to expect from different players or who's going to, who's going to do what, when, that kind of thing. But I would imagine when you haven't seen this team before at all on video or anything, then the first time you step on the ice against them, it changes some things.
Yes and no. I wouldn't say that we need to change anything from the way that we play. We play wings hockey, and it's been working. Our coaches have been preparing us well, so I think we're going to continue to do that here.
Yeah. Well, and that's a good point. I mean, as far as systematically and so on, it doesn't really change much. I was just kind of thinking of finding out who's the chirper and who's going to dirty you the most or whatever, and that kind of thing. Because everybody's got different makeup on their team. So, all right. Well, Liam, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to my mom and dad back home and my little brother Spencer. I miss you guys, and looking forward to seeing you.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on here. That's pretty much all I've got for you, and we'll continue on here. But again, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, folks. Wings taken back to the ice here at the Odie Ice Center, Friday, February 5th versus the Minnesota Wilderness. Mite Mania at the Odie. All Mite players in town for the tournament that'll be going on during the day will receive free admission with the purchase of any adult ticket at the door. $15 corporate bar stool seats are available. Call Aaron at 605-380-5852. Saturday, February 6th, the Wilderness once again. Couch Meat Market is the corporate sponsor. Mite Mania continues at the Odie. All Mite players in town for the tournament will receive free admission with the purchase of an adult ticket at the door. Doors open at 5:30. Puck always drops at 7:15. You can get your tickets now at tickets.aberdeenwings.com. $10 general admission tickets are also on sale now at any of the 4C Express locations in Aberdeen with additional purchase. Corporate night sponsorships are available for home games throughout the 2020-2021 season. Call Aaron at 605-380-5852 for more information. Don't forget, Wings Weekly is now a podcast. Find the audio for this season's episodes on Spotify, Stitcher, or iHeartRadio. For all the latest news and information on the Wings, visit aberdeenwings.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. Once again, Liam Fraser, thanks so much. I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to kind of let people see behind the shield, so to speak.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, folks, that'll pretty much wrap up this week's Wings Weekly.